Hello everybody and welcome back to the British Pokemon League show. It is week 6. We are in the business end of the season. It's hard to believe that we're over the halfway point of season 2 already. It honestly just feels like we only just finished season 1 like 5 minutes ago, but here we are. If you all watched the mid-season show, you'll have seen all the changes that have happened. Everything's up in the air now. It's almost like we started afresh. New teams, new mons we haven't seen before. I think everyone's pretty much made an upgrade to their team, at least one. And there's certainly a few teams that have just completely changed. I will hydrate. Thank you very much, dogs. So we've got a lot to get into today. There's been a lot of crazy matches. If you did see the mid-season show, you will see the schedule for this week. But before we get into the schedule, we'll take another look at it. Let's take a quick look at the league tables. Over in the East Division, Aaron's Inglorious Surfers still sit atop, perched at 5-0, unbeaten still. Nobody unable to stop them yet, but they are closely followed by his main rival, Crizzle's South Croydon Saurs, on a 3-2 record, alongside the Celtic Celebes, also on a 3-2 record. Obviously, the Celtic Celebes on that 3-game winning streak. Only Aaron to have a better winning streak in that division, so Draco's Celtic Celebes going very strong. In 4th, in the final playoff spot, we've got Wio's Toed Star Belgrade, actually losing out to Aaron in that week 5 game. So Wio will be looking to make a good start to life in the second half of the season. And down in the final 2 spots, we have got Newcastle Thundurus and the Shadow Kings, both on the 1-4 record, both with a mountain to climb to ensure they make playoffs, but it is all still to play for. Anything could happen. I'm gonna say it, there's still plenty of Pokemon left to play. Let's go. Anyway, over in the West Division, it is pretty much almost the same story. Slightly different though. Miami Heat, like the Surfers, are running away with it. The 5-0 record, nobody able to stop it. Latvian though, the difference here is Lat has not even dropped a single game. Never mind a match, so he's 5-0 and 100% record right now. So is someone going to be able to stop Lat before we get a playoffs? Or is he just going to keep winning and just go all the way there? We will certainly find out in the next couple of weeks. In second place, the Bulu Boys on a 3-game winning streak as of right now. Just like Draco's Celtic Celebes. After that sort of topsy-turvy start, those first 2 weeks didn't go so great for the Bulu Boys, but now on a 3-2 record. And then in 3rd, 4th and 5th, California Bastions, Slithering Septals, and the Long Island Goomies all on a 2-3 record. So literally could just cut that with a knife. It's just so close. Anything could happen with this week, you know. And down there in the bottom place, occupying 6th place, sorry, is 200 Candies on the 1-4 record. As you said, Candies does have a bit of a mountain to climb, but that could all start this week if he's able to get the win. If certain results go his way, Candies could jump all the way up to 3rd place. So absolutely anything could go down this week for Candies, so do not write him off. Let's take a quick look at the schedule, and as you can see at the top of that with the week 6, it is a spicy, tasty fixture between the South Croydon Saurs and the Inglorious Surfers. Good friends, close rivals, 1st versus 2nd. Obviously, Aaron got the better of the Saurs last time round, so will it be the same story, or is it going to be flipped on its head and is Chris going to take get his revenge this time round? Closely followed by the Newcastle Thundurus taking on the Toed Star Belgrade, another local rivalry there. I think we will be hoping to get one back over on Dave this time round after Dave took the first game 2-1. And then the final game of the East Division this week is the Shadow Kings taking on Celtic Celebes. Obviously, these two played each other just last week, well, week 5, not technically last week, and Draco able to take that 2-0. And as we said, Dogsy with a lot to do, so Dogsy be hoping to make a really positive start to this half of the season, and we'll see if he can get that win. Meanwhile, over in the West Division, it is Bulu Boys taking on the Slithering Septals. Obviously, these two also played in week 1, and it was Jabba's Slithering Septals able to get the 2-1 victory over last season's regular season champions. So Bulu Boys are going to be looking to make that really, again, make a positive start and continue that winning run. Followed by Miami Heat, our unbeaten Season 1 champion, still just winning away, taking on the Long Island Goomies. Last time these two played, obviously, it was a 2-0 win to that. And I think Silly, I think he hopes he has a bit more about him this time and can maybe get the 1 over on that, but we'll certainly have to see on that one. And finally, our final game of the week, California Bastions taking on 200 Candies. Bastion's the only team Candies has managed to beat so far, so he'll be going at this full of confidence, but Oma obviously has a lot to do and won't want to drop a game straight off the bat, so we'll see what happens. But anyways, on to our first game of the week. It is Inglorious Surfers taking on the South Croydon Saurs. Now, as we said in the mid-season break, these two teams have changed just ever so slightly. Not too many changes to speak of. Obviously, on the side of Aaron, we've got the Gardevoir, me, Enshao. We've got the Draco, Fletch Indo, which actually came the other way from South Croydon Saurs. And, of course, the Mamoswine there. You've seen how strong the Thundurus Kingdra lead-up can be with that Prankster Rain Dance. Get the Kingdra's Swift Swim ability activated, and it can hit super hard with the Life Orb or the Assault Vest. And if Week 5 showed anything, Galarian Moltres is not one to be messed with. We already knew that anyway, but do not count this thing out. I would expect us to see some of Mienshao. Mienshao has obviously been a really big Pokemon so far in the early sort of feeling people out in the stage of Series 10, so it'll be interested to see if that makes an appearance. And of course, Bulu's obviously came a few times as well for Aaron, so could make its appearance here. Whether it's suitable for it to come, we will certainly see. Over on the side of the Saws, that made some quite sizable changes. The Venusaur duo is gone. Not that we really saw it too much with Chris, but it is gone. We will see that duo a little bit later on in the show. But obviously, you now see the Rillaboom G-Max, which came over from the Celtic Sotheby's. The Tornadus, which came over from the West Division's Bully Boys. And then we've got Cobalion as well. Obviously, Cobalion and Sneasel, that beat-up duo, have been super strong once or twice this season, so that obviously gives Chris a very good option, and Aaron needs to be careful of that. Also now has Dracozolt and Mudsdale to add to that. Obviously Mudsdale has own tempo, has stamina, few different sort of modes you can run that with, and with Tornadus getting Prankster Swagger as well, that is something that Aaron is going to have to be careful of. And leading out the bottom, we've also got Volcarona, Slurpuff, obviously the trade between these two, Slurpuff came one way and Fletch Indo came the other. But without further ado, let's take a look at our first game of Week 6. It is the Inglorious Surfers taking on the South Croydon Saurs, and the Saurs lead out with Volcarona and Porygon-Z. We saw how much Porygon-Z has done in recent weeks, and it is Kingdra and Thundurus. The trusty duo for Aaron is Kingdra goes for his Dynamax and PZ goes for his Dynamax. Rage Powder comes off Volcarona. There is the Rain Dance. Guys, it does proc the Sash on the Volcarona, and that keeps things going. Max Strike comes out, and the Kingdra does manage to hang on. That does drop the speed a little bit. Max Guard comes out from the Kingdra. There's the Rage Powder again, and Max Strike is going to take out the Thundurus. That's a crit there. Whether that crit mattered or not, don't know, but that was quite a strong move there. Takes out the support mon. Ice Shard from the Mamoswine that swaps in is going to take out the Volcarona, but the Max Strike is also going to take out Mamoswine. Porygon-Z on an absolute test. Max guys into the PZ, but PZ manages to just hang on with 70% HP as the Dynamaxes do, and Tornadus now comes in to make its debut for the Saws, and Mienshao swaps in as Dracozolt swaps back in for the PZ. Protect comes out from the Tornadus to stop that fake out coming in. There is the Hydro Pump blocked by that fake out, so that protects, sorry, so good stuff there. Tailwind comes out from the Tornadus, and that is the Aerial Ace is going to take out the Kingdra. Rock Slide there, not doing too much to Tornadus, and Dracozolt there is the Air Slash into Mienshao. Mienshao hangs on for its Slash, but the Aerial Ace is going to take it out, and Chris takes the first game off Aaron since Draco in week number 1. Advantage to the South Croydon Saws as Mienshao and Tapu Bulu this time in game 2 for Aaron D. Marshall's Surfers, and PZ and Sneasel now as PZ goes for that Dynamax once again. Fake out comes out from the Sneasel to stop that Mienshao, but it's not going to matter because inner focus with close combat. PZ again, just about hanging out. There's Max right into the Bulu. Bulu just absolutely falls apart. PZ just absolutely slapping Mon's left, right, and centre as in swaps the Kingdra. Kingdra goes for its Dynamax. There's the Max Guard from the PZ, knowing that that Kingdra is going to be a little bit faster. Triple Axle comes out into the Mienshao. Mienshao goes down from the Sneasel. There's the Max Airstream in the Sneasel. Sneasel only losing about half HP. That is going to give the Kingdra the speed buff that it needs, though, to ensure it's faster. And his last turn of Dynamax for Porygon-Z, in comes Thundurus. Rain Dance comes out. There's the Max Wormwood, which is going to take out the PZ. So PZ finally goes down and Sneasel hangs on. Triple Axle into the Thundurus. Is it going to take it out? Not quite. Goes down to 31% HP, but good damage as Aaron finally gets rid of one of Chris's Pokemon. In comes the Volcarona. The Rage Powder comes out as you would expect. Max Airstream. That is going to give it that another speed buff, and the Sash does keep Volcarona hanging around. And the Thunderbolt is going to take out the Volcarona, so another one down. There's the Triple Axle, and that is going to take out Thundurus. So it is Kingdra with it all up to do the 1v2. Sneasel, what has he got alongside it? What is it going to be the Zolt? It is the Dracozolt. Dracozolt comes in, but that Kingdra is going to be faster. There's the Double Protect from Kingdra. No, sorry, Double Protect. It was the first Protect. Triple Axle gets blocked by that Protect. You would think Kingdra is going to go first here and take out the Dracozolt, which it does. And now Sneasel is going to go its special attack dropped. There, and there it is, the Triple Axle, as we expected, does a little bit, takes it down to half HP, but that special attack drop could be really huge. Hydro Pump doesn't quite take out the Sneasel in the ring. There's the triple axle. Oh, the crit! Sneasel takes it out, and Aaron has lost his first game of the season. The streak is broken. Crizzle with the 2-0 over Inglorious Surfers. Saurs get the win that they needed, and that knocks Aaron down from the 5-0 record to 5-1. What an unbelievable game. That game 2 could have went either way. I think that special attack drop was really huge as well. I think it had not happened, the Hydro Pump was always taking the Sneasel out, but absolutely sensational stuff, and Sneasel just putting in the work once again. Who needs a fully evolved version of him? You know, who needs it? It's overrated. It's overrated. You know, Chris just fully proving that it has what it takes, and awesome stuff from those two guys. Really put on an absolute spectacle, and GG to Chris, and of course GG's to Aaron. Commiserations. I'm sure Aaron is going to bounce back. We know Aaron has that bounce back ability, and I'm sure next week we're going to see some sensational stuff from him. On to our second game though, and it is another local derby. It is the Toed Star Belgrade taking on the Newcastle Thundurus. As you can see there, obviously Newcastle have the advantage over Toed Star with the 2-1 head-to-head record. Obviously Wheel took first blood last season. Dave won the second time round, and then Dave has won the first time round this season. Obviously not the best of record for Newcastle. They're not made the greatest stars to life in Season 2 of the British Promotion League, but they are not down and out in terms of playoffs. They can still claw their way back, but it's got to start here. They've got to get a win this week against Toed Star Belgrade. And similarly, Toed Star need to sort out this topsy-turvy form. They're sort of losing one week, winning next week. You know, that loss to Aaron's really sort of hurt him and pulled them into that sort of final playoffs position fight. So it's gonna be a big ask for both teams. But as you can see, Toed Star Belgrade have made some huge changes to their team. Not so much sort of the low tier ones, but those the G-Max and those sort of tier 1, tier 2 ones have really changed hands completely. G-Max Lapras makes its glorious return to the British Pokemon League alongside the not the Galarian Zapdos, the Kanto Zapdos, and then the next two mons. Such a huge duo, the Regigigas Galarian Weezing. Obviously Galarian Weeze that neutralizing gas, allowing the Gigas to just hit super duper hard. Of course, we've got the Obstagoon as well that has come over from the Bulu Boys. So we saw just how much work that put in for the Bulu Boys in the first half of the season. I think much to everyone's surprise. So really great to see that there. And of course, Togetic has come over from the South Croydon Saurs. Serena and Drapion and Mr. Mime Galar and of course Wobbuffet all keep their place in the team as well. So definitely going to have to watch out for that. Serena, you know, blocks those priority moves. And, you know, can obviously also run a Sweet Veil to block that sleep, which obviously we've seen Dave go a few times with the Venusaur G-Max. So we shall certainly see. But I think it's very likely we're going to see that Galarian Weezing Gigas lineup from Toed Star Belgrade. Over on the side of the Thundurus, the Regieleki is going to potentially make its debut this week. One really big pickup there for Dave. Essentially got 3 of the most used mons in Series 9 in that team. So Dave's team looking very, very scary. And we've seen just the sort of destructive power of Venusaur with Ninetales. And Weo is very well versed in just how strong it is. So definitely be careful of that. Copperaja as well also has been picked up by Dave. And the prodigal son, Dusknoir, is back for Newcastle Thundurus after being a mainstay in the Season 1 squad. It makes its return, so we saw just how good of a trick room user that can be. It's not quite a Dusclops, but it is still very strong. So we shall certainly see. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into our second game. Toed Star Belgrade taking on the Newcastle Thundurus, and it is the Weezing Galar and the Regigigas that line up, and it's Copperaja and Dusknoir. So Dave potentially trying to go for that trick room setup, you know, knowing that Gigas, it has got that sort of that high speed stat, trying to reverse that speed and let Copperaja do its thing. You know, you can take out the Galarian Weezing. You're in a really good spot to take out the Gigas as long as you can stop that thing's attack from, you know, and stop it from sweeping too hard. But we shall certainly see. And but yeah, it's really great to see Dusknoir back. It feels like if anyone else had it, it wouldn't feel right. So it's great to see some mons returning to you know their Season 1 teams. We've seen the same with the likes of Lat and Dogs and things. But there the Gigas goes for its Dynamax, and the Copperaja also goes for its Dynamax. Helping Hand comes out from the Dusknoir. There's the Protect from the Weezing Galar. He's always going to try and get the light. There's a Max Quake. Oh, Copperajah manages to hang on. There's a special defense with Max Steel Spike into the ground Weezing. That still does over half damage through the Protect as well. That's so strong. Black Sludge is going to redeem some of that HP for the Galar Weezing. And Copperajah with some big damage there. You know, another one of those is going to really, really hurt. And obviously, unless Rio goes for the double Protect, that Galar Weezing is going to be hard pressed to try and live to that. But Regigigas still stood there, hulking over the whole field. You can't even see Galar Weezing behind it. It's so damn big. There's hulking just like. But oh, the Copperajah swaps out. Could that be a really good swap out for Davis? Lando T comes in and it blocks him. Max Quake is immune. A Sludge Bomb comes out on the Dusknoir and does manage to get that poison. So how huge could that be? But the Trick Room now comes out. Great swap out for Dave. Does waste his Dynamax by doing so, but stops Regigigas from getting an all-important Dynamax move off. So good stuff there from Dave. You know, a really, really good predict. And that's what you like to see. So Dave's still very much in this. All 4 mons on the field for both sides. Protect comes out from the Dusknoir. Protect comes out from the Galar Weezing. And there's the Max Hailstorm. The Yachi Berry procs. But Lando T still goes down. It just doesn't stand a chance. Gets absolutely slapped by the Regigigas. Max Hailstorm just doing the big damage. And Lando T is gone. And that could be really huge. Obviously no Intim Beam procs by the Galar Weezing's neutralizing gas. As the Copperajah now swaps back in. Trick Room still up with 3 turns to go. And Regigigas' Dynamax does now finally end, so a little bit of a sigh of relief for Dave in that sense. Hasn't got this huge thing screaming. Iron Head comes out of the Copperajah, and Galar Weezing does go down. That's the slow start's going to come back, neutralizing gas goes off. Pain Split comes out from the Dusknoir, that's going to get some of his HP back. High Horsepower's going to come out anyway though, and the Copperajah goes down. The Gigas does not care about that slow start. It takes out the Copperajah, and it is now 3v2 as Regieleki comes in, and it's Serena for Rio. We've seen how strong Serena has been for Rio in Season 1 and Season 2. Great to see it. Still staying in the team. And yeah, it was slower than Lando. We were all very shook by that, to be honest. Regieleki not in a great spot here. Obviously, it is the fastest thing on the field, and while Trick Room's up, it's not really the helping hand comes out from the Dusknoir. There's the high horsepower. Regieleki lives that though, but the triple axle is going to take it out, and now Dusknoir with it all to do. 1v3, that poison slowly chipping away at its health, and I think this is going to be game 1 to Toed Star Belgrade, to be honest, unfortunately. You know, it was all going so swimmingly until Lando T just got slapped around. The Pain Split comes out. It's just what they get impact though. It's going to be immune. The Dusknoir is not going to care about that. I wonder if that's a little bit of BM there from Mr. Hopp himself, as the poison slowly chips away at Dusknoir's health. And it's just a matter of time before that poison's going to take it out. Dusknoir swaps out as in comes the Lapras. Protect comes out from the Dusknoir. That's just going to be in vain, as the poison's going to take it down a little bit further. That is going to be game number 1. Protect comes out from the Serena. Protect comes out from the Lapras. Trick Room goes up, and the poison is going to take it out for Rio to take game number 1. So Gigas proving a formidable foe in that first game, as in comes Regieleki and Lando T this time for Div. And it is the same lineup, of course it is, for Jurgen, Hopp, Mr. Wheels, Toed Star Belgrade, Galar Weezing, and the Regigigas. Some great nicknames once again from both sides. The Reggie asked me a question, did have me chuckling quite a lot at the time. So, you know, Hopp always very creative with his nicknames. But Dave will be hoping he can try something different this time and just, you know, try and if you can nullify the Galar Weezing, then you know the Gigas can be taken care of. But you know. And the problem you've got is what you're wanting to focus this big, massive, hulking beast from destroying your team. There's the Max Lightning into the Galar Weezing, which has protected. That's not going to do too much, but just get there to Terrain. There's the Rock Slide. That's not doing too much to Gigas. There's the Hailstorm, and the Yachi Berry is not going to save the Lando T again. Lando T goes down, and it's another kill for Gigas. Another victim, and Gigas is just wrecking house. But Dave does still have his Dynamax, and Electric Terrain is now set up, so that could be good news, as in comes the Venusaur now. No Sun set up for Venusaur, so it's not going to be overly quick, but if you can maybe survive a move, if it's maybe got a Sash or something, can you maybe get a Sleep Powder off, and that is going to at least slow down, Gigas or Weezing or something, just for a little while. This is what you want. You want to just try and stall it out. Try and get yourself out there. There's a Max Lightning into the Galar Weezing. Galar Weezing does just hang on from that. The Max Hailstorm, it's going to take out the Venusaur. Venusaur just not standing a chance. There's a Sludge Bomb into the Regieleki. And Gigas just staring down his little light bulb. What are you going to do? You're just going to skip around while I'm just stood here going just making noise as instant swaps in. The Protect comes out from the Galar Weezing to stop that fake out. There's the Max Lightning. That takes the Gigas down to half HP. Max Quake is going to take the Lecky out, and it is now Insane with the Alter Deflect, but it's not quite taking out the Gigas either. And it is Gigas, Weezing, and the rest versus Insane. Insane with the 1v4. I think this is game number 2. The 2-0. Weo gets his revenge on Dave. And Galan, fucking Reggie Gigas with 7 kills that game. Absolutely insane stuff there. Just Dave with no answer to the Gigas. So GG's to both those guys. So a little bit closer to that first game. I think Dave made some really great calls. That swap in for Lando was really good. So some really great reads. It's what you always want to see. But the 2-0, and that resigns Dave to yet another defeat. So still with so much left to do, but he's not down now. There's still another 4 weeks to go, so Dave needs to take heart from that. And, you know, the comeback is on. Comeback. If there's anyone who's a comeback king, it is Dave. So we will certainly see. Anyway, our final game of the East Division. It is the Celtic Celebies versus the Shadow Kings. Obviously, last week in the British Pokemon League, week 5, these two faced off, and Draco Celebies did take the 2-0. However, Draco's team was very different to that, and as the same as Shadow Kings as well. Obviously, a few big changes there for Draco. One very important one to note is the Tyranitar, which has been transferred from the Slithering Septals, has moved on over, and now he has that formidable duo of Dracovish and Titar. So very scary stuff. And now has the G-Max Machamp, so dropped the Rillaboom G-Max. And not really much we saw of it in the first half of the season for Draco, so totally understand that swap. And another few swaps there as well. The Reggie Draco has been picked up by Draco, Reggie Draco, as well as Magneton, Dottler, Metang has come over from Buda Boys, and Coughing has swapped over from Shadow King. So obviously Coughing does have that neutralizing gas, so that does give Draco a little bit of an option there. And obviously we've seen just how good Stack Attacker has been in the first half of the season for the Celebies, the kill leader for the Celebies. So Dogsy is definitely going to have to watch out for that. You know, with Dogsy's new team, you might want to try and get Trick Room set up, but want to be careful with if that Stack Attacker is lurking about. But speaking of Shadow Kings, I said a few changes there. The Indeedee female has come over from the Long Island Goomies, as well as the Slowbro Galar. So you'll see a few familiar faces in Dogsy's team. You might recognise the Lipard Slowbro Galar, obviously a mainstay of Latvian's Miami Heat Season 1 team. Super strong duo, and Dogsy will be hoping to use that to his advantage. And has also picked up the G-Max Blastoise with Dark Airshrew going over to the Goomies, as well as Spectria, and Haunter has came over from the Celtic Celebi. So Haunter potentially playing its former team. And we saw how strong Salamence was in the first half of the season. Salamence, you know, I don't think anyone really knew exactly its power until Dogsy showed it, especially in that first game. It obliterated Thundurus in that first game of the season, and nearly made the comeback against the Inglorious Surfers in week 2. So definitely got to be something Draco has got to watch out for. However, let's move on to the game. Shadow Kings versus the Celtic Celebies. Where are we at? There we go. I'll find it eventually. Anyway, as Titar and Dracovish do line up for Draco, I think we have to expect that. And it is the Slowbro Galar and the Lipard for Dogsy Shadow King. So this looks very familiar to the Season 1 Playoffs final. Max Guard comes out, and there is the copycat to get the Trick Room set up. Max Darkness is going to get blocked by that Max Guard as the Fisher's Wren comes out. With Lipard does manage to hang on, but the Sandstorm is going to take it out, and that is first blood to Dracovish. Dracovish to Draco. Quick Draw comes out from the Slowbro Galar. The Max Ooze into the Vish. Is that going to do enough? It doesn't. I think the Sandstorm with that special defense buff is doing a lot. Water Spell comes out from the Blastoise, and Titar lives. The Weakness Policy gets procced. Max Darkness is going to go on the Titar, and that Slowbro Galar gets turned into mincemeat. And that is going to drop the special defense on Blastoise as well. Fisher's Wren comes out from the Vish. That's not really going to do too much to the Blastoise. Water Spell comes out again. It's still not really touching that Titar. It's just tickling. Dazzling Gleam comes out from the Alteri. That is going to manage to take it out. And the Rockfall, though, from the Titar, it takes it out. Alteri goes down. So Titar is just on an absolute tear this game. And Blastoise now with it all to do the 1v3 is in. Swaps Tapu Lele. Gets that Psychic Search. Psychic Surge set up. Protect comes out from the Titar. Water Spout gets blocked. The Lele doesn't care how much that. The Psychic takes it out, and that is game number 1 to the Celebies. What a great start from Draco, proving that duo is super strong. And Titar I mean, what a mon this thing has been. Sandstream sets up, obviously, from the T-Tar, and this time it is the same duo on both sides. But is the Trick Room going to go up? It's not. The Protect comes out from the Lipard this time, and there's a Max Ooze into the Vish. That does a lot more this time. Gets down to 40% HP. Gets a special attack up. The Fish's Rend is going to get blocked by the Protect. Max Darkness into the Slowbro. Slowbro does manage to hang on this time. Obviously, no Weakness Policy procced just yet on the T-Tar. So the Slowbro Galar managed to live that. The Max Guard comes out. Copycat comes out, and there is the Trick Room. Max Darkness is going to get blocked by that Max Guard, as is Fish's Rend. So Draco doing no damage that time, and the Trick Room does go up. There's a Max Geyser into the Vish. Vish managing to hang on. There's the Darkness into the Slowbro Galar. That is going to take it out, and Dogsy's Dynamax is gone, but the Geyser does mean that the Sandstorm has gone, so that special defense buff that was definitely benefiting Draco in that first game is gone. But there, the Lipard goes out with the Fish's Rend from the Vish, and in comes Ditto and Blastoise. We finally see the Ditto from Dogsy, and it copies the Vish. Protect comes out from the T-Tar. There's the Water Spout. Is that going to take out the Vish? It is, but the Protect is going to block that Fish's Rend from Dogsy's Ditto / Draco Vicious. In comes Tapu Lele, and if you're a Vish, that's not what you want to see. Water Spout is going to take out the T-Tar, but not quite do enough to Lele. Moonblast though is going to come to take care of Vish, and it's a similar situation to game 1. Blastoise has it all to do. Ice Beam is not going to quite take out Draco. The Psychic takes it down to half HP. There's the Dragon Pulse, takes it out, and Draco takes the game 2-0. It's a repeat of week number 5. Draco getting the 2-0 win and continuing that winning streak up to 4 games now. Draco on the 4-2 record. Commiserations to Dogsy. I'll be honest, I know Sandstorm was up. I was still so shaken that T-Tar lived that Water Spout. I remember watching it back and being like, oh man, like this is not good. Water Spout's about to come out, and T-Tar just like, yeah, I don't really care about that, I'll be honest. I've got sand up. I've got a little bit of special defensive investment. I'll be all good. This doesn't care that with the T-Tar. And damn, amazing stuff. And yeah, GG's to Draco, carries that winning run on. And wow, both of our bottom teams moving on to 1 and 5. It's getting very scary for them. But as I said with Dave, it's not all done and dusted yet. There is still time. There's still 4 weeks to go. Still plenty of Pokemon left to play, as I always say. Anyway, let's move on over to the West Division, and the first game of the West Division is the Bully Boys taking on the Slithering Septals. And as you can see with the Bully Boys team, it has entirely changed. It's all changed on the Bully Boys. Only Mesprit managing to hang on from the first half of the season. And of course, that Venusaur duo is now on that Bully Boys squad. So getting that transfer done from the South Croydon Saurs, as well as Charizard, Klefki came over from the Newcastle Thundurus, Raichu swapping over from Toed Star Belgrade, Garchomp and a little Ninetales being picked up, as well as Cradley, and the Celio swapping over from the from Celebes, and Sudowoodo being picked up by from Long Island Goomies, with Relicamp going the other way. So entirely new team. There's a lot of different ways that can run. Obviously, just Torkoal just matches up so super well with quite a few of those mons. So it'll be very interesting to see what Bully Boys are able to bring this season. And as you can see from that head-to-head record, and as we spoke about earlier, Slithering Septals did take the first meeting between these guys all the way back in week 1, which, even though it was only 5 weeks ago, does feel like quite a little bit of time ago. But Jabba has also made some quite big changes to the team. Obviously, as we just saw, T-Tar is no longer on the team. He's over on the Celebes. And now instead he has the Tapu Koko alongside a brand new G-Max mon in the Toxtricity. So very interested to see what that can do. You don't really see too much Toxtricity G-Max in VGC or competitive. So you know, that element of surprise could really play into his hands. And has also picked up his mascot's team. The mascot's mon, sorry. It is Sceptile. Sceptile has been picked up, and obviously Draco's ult has been dropped. Weavile as well being picked up in place of the Aegislash, and Wailord being picked up as well, that tier 5 slot. Bronzong and Togekiss, Arcanine, Lopunny, Barbracle and Galar Rapidash all stay in the Slithering Septiles team. We saw just how strong that Arcanine was at the start of the season, so something to watch out for with that Intim, and obviously has Justified as well, so that's something to look out for. Could run with the beat up on the Weavile, so definitely something to be afraid of. And we know how strong of a support mon Togekiss can be as well. You know, I don't think Jabba was quite able to use it how he wanted to in the first half of the season, but Togekiss, we've seen it plenty of times in the British Pokemon League. Let us see. But without further ado, I say it again, let's move on to Bully Boys versus Slithering Septals, and there it is, the Charizard, Venusaur, Torkoal all in that lineup, and Charizard and Torkoal line up for the Bully Boys. That is going to get the sun up, and it's Tapu Koko and Toxtricity, so an all-electric lineup gets that electric terrain set up, and which does proc the electric seed on the Toxtricity to buff its defense, as Charizard here is in a good spot. You know, both G-Maxes on the field. Koko, I would think, is going to try and take out the Zard, but the Raichu swaps in for the Torkoal. G-Max, Charizard goes for his G-Max as the Volt Switch comes out, but the Lightning Rod is just going to just absorb that. Great stuff there from the Bully Boys, and the Max Quake is going to take out the Toxtricity. So first blood to the Bully Boys, and Koko being stuck on the field of the Volt Switch not going off. And first blood to the Bully Boys then. Sun is up as well, so that's the Sun is going to be really buffing those fire moves, as in comes Togekiss now. You think maybe that Raichu can go for a fake out here, maybe stop the Togekiss from getting any support moves set up, but do have to be careful because Jabba has run that Togekiss as a special attacker a few times, so definitely got to try and see what's what here. As Koko goes for its Dynamax instead. Max Flutterby comes out from the Koko. That is going to drop Charizard's special attack. Volt Switch comes out from the Raichu. Raichu is going to swap out, and that takes Togekiss down to about half HP as Torkoal swaps back in. Max Quake comes out, and that still does such a chunk of damage, even after that special attack drop, as the light screen now goes up from the Togekiss, just trying to stop those special attacks from, you know, really hitting hard. Jabba obviously going to try and just drop that special attack as far as he can, and just try and stop that Charizard from just sort of wrecking house, you know what, with that solar power, with the life orb as well, and while the sun is up, you know, a fire move is going to deal some really big damages. Raichu now swaps back in for the Torkoal. Follow Me comes out from the Togekiss. There's another Max Flutterby, so Jabba not falling for the swap out. And the Max Wildfire gets the crit, and Togekiss goes down even through the screens. I think the crit definitely was very important there, but that does get the G-Max Wildfire Flames up, and Koko still has another turn of its Dynamax as Charizard's Dynamax ends. Arcanine now comes in, gets the Intim off, but obviously Raichu has swapped back in, so does have that option for a fake out. Koko obviously limited to what it can do, you know, it's obviously shown it has the bug move with the Max Flutterby. Until Raichu's dealt with, though, it can't really do anything to take out the Charizard. That light screen could be all important, though, for Jabba. Now Charizard's G-Max is over. It's going to be doing a little bit less damage. Electric Terrain's still up as well. And the Torkoal swaps in for the Charizard. There's the fake out onto the Arcanine. Does get that flinch. And there's the Max Starfall onto the Koko. It does reset that terrain from the electric terrain. The Wildfire Flames doing a little bit of damage away to the Koko. And Koko just about hanging on. And it is Torkoal and Raichu on the field for Bully Boys. And it is a 2v4 currently for Jabba. So Jabba with it all to do. What can Koko go for here? It's definitely in a bit of a spot. You know, there's the Volt Switch. That's a bit of an odd choice. That is going to buff Raichu. Special attack Volt Switch comes out from the Raichu though, so Raichu going to swap back out. And Charizard is going to swap back in, and Charizard is going to eat that Flamethrower up from the Arcanine. A great swap in there. Air Power comes out from the Torkoal, and that Koko is gone, and now Arcanine has it all to do. And I think this is going to be game number 1 to the Bully Boys. Extreme speed. The Charizard does manage to hang on. There's the Scorching Sands from the Charizard. Life Orb is going to take it out, so 1-1 does go down for the Bully Boys. There's the Air Power from the Torkoal. That light screen really proving very valuable for Jabba there to keep Arcanine in the game, but I think this one is done and dusted regardless. And just having no answer for the Torkoal and the Zard, as Raichu now swaps back in. Could go for a fake out here again. Just completely just nullify that Arcanine and just let Torkoal do the work. Surf comes out from the Raichu though. That's going to proc the Torkoal Citrus Berry, so some useful information there for Jabba. Flamethrower comes out onto the Raichu. Air Power on the Torkoal, and Torkoal takes it out for Bully Boys to take game number 1. And into game number 2. This time, Jabba switching up with the Sceptile and the Togekiss this time. And Venusaur and Torkoal, so the Venusaur duo does make its appearance. Sun goes up. That Venusaur is going fast. Obviously not the G-Max Venusaur, so no chance of G-Max Vine Lash, but Venusaur still all the same. Venusaur does go for its DMAX. Protect comes out from the Torkoal. There's a Max Flare into the Septal. That is going to proc the Sash. So Septal still hanging on and is going to proc that in bed. And so Dragon Dance comes out from the Septal. Light Screen goes off from the Togekiss. So an all in all, not a bad turn there from Jabba. Obviously gets that ungodly speed on the Septal and the buffed attack. So also revealing that Septal is a physical attacker. And Togekiss, obviously, as we said, gets the Light Screen up. So that's very important to stop the very heavy special attacking team of the Bulu Boys. Torkoal not electing to go for an attacking move there. Venusaur could be in a little bit of trouble here if the Septal is running a flying move. You know, not only is it going to make Septal even faster like it needs to be, it's going to do some big damage there. There's the Septal goes for its Dynamax. Max Airstream into the Venusaur, so there it is. Takes Venusaur just below half HP. That's some good damage. Max Ooze comes out into the Togekiss. Togekiss does manage to tank that as well, but it's going to buff the special attack of both Venusaur and the Torkoal. But there's the Cleesmog, and that is going to take out Togekiss. Cleesmog taken out by the Torkoal, so Togekiss now gone. The Light Screen does remain, of course, but that's first blood to the Bulu Boys. Matt in a bit of a spot here as Weavile comes in, so Weavile now giving that fake out pressure to Jabba, can go for the fake out onto the Torkoal, stop it from doing any work. And Matt has a decision to make here because that Venusaur is not going to live another Max Airstream. So you would think that if Torkoal is running Eruption or Heat Wave, he can maybe go for that if he doesn't get fake out. But there's a Max Guard. Fake out does hit into the Torkoal though, so Torkoal not getting an attack. Max Guard does block the Max Airstream. And there you go. Venusaur's Dynamax does now end, and Septile still with 1% HP, just about hanging on. Cleesmog coming out again there from Torkoal, it looks like, and Venusaur, you know, is definitely not going to live another Airstream. Jabba just can easily just auto-click that, just trying to at least take something out and get one of those big damages. But there's the Charizard, swaps in. Airstream hits into the Charizard. Charizard go down to 36 HP. Gets that speed buff for the Weavile, and there's the Icicle Crash into the Charizard, not the Charizard, the Torkoal. But Cleesmog is going to finally take out that Septile. It is now 2v4 for Jabba. And some big damage into Charizard there, but a good swap in. Obviously keeps that Venusaur kicking around as Toxtricity now swaps in for Jabba. Not obviously didn't really get to see much of Toxtricity in that game one. Immediately taken out by the Charizard. And, well, Septile definitely hanging on a lot longer than I think people would have expected. Charizard really tanking those hits though. Interesting switch-ins, but Weavile and Toxtricity with it all to do now. Torkoal just still hanging around. This little turtle boy just sat there intimidating everyone. Jabba taking his time to decide what he wants to do here. Icicle Crash comes out from the Weavile. That is going to take out the Charizard. So Charizard goes again. There's the Overdrive, but Torkoal manages to tank that, and that Cirrus Berry is going to get it back up to HP. There's the Eruption. Some big damage there, but Weavile and Toxtricity both managing to hang on. So I think the light screen there really did save Weavile. So really good stuff as Raichu now swaps in, and that Overdrive now, that's one less move that Jabba can go for now, knowing that Raichu is on the field. Can obviously go for a fake out here if he wants to as well. Stop that Weavile from doing any, all the Toxtricity from doing any big hits to Torkoal. But it's 2v3. Jabba still jumps out. The Protect comes out from the Torkoal. Icicle Crash from the Weavile. That's some big damage. 50% HP. And the Volt Switch, it is going to take the Weavile. And Raichu is going to come straight back out there. And in comes the Venusaur now. Snarl comes out from the Toxtricity. That is going to only hit the Venusaur. That gets some good damage and just drop the special attack. So that could be quite important. But we do know that Venusaur has that Earth Power move. Snarl comes out again. It misses the Torkoal. That could be quite huge. But the Air Power comes out from the Venusaur and Toxtricity goes down, and it is 2-0. Bulu Boys take the game 2-0, getting the revenge over Jabba. GG's to Jabba. That was a really fun game to play. I was very happy with how game one went. Was a little bit worried about what he might do with the Septile, but I think it went pretty well, reasonably. Let's not speak about game 2. I realised there was much better plays to make there, and I think Jabba will say the same thing about game 1 as well. I know straight after, he was quite annoyed with himself over the Volt Switch play in game 1, but these things happen. It's sort of, you know, turn of the moment sort of thing. It's we're only human, you know what I mean? But I said GG's to Jabba, but that does mean that Jabba now goes to the 2-4 record. So Jabba with 4 games lost in a row. So Jabba will be looking the next week to try and turn those fortunes around, and 4-game winning streak now for myself. So going strong. We'll see what we can do for the rest of the season. But for now, our second game of the West Division, it is the Miami Heat taking on the Long Island Goomies. So obviously Lat has the advantage in the head-to-head. Silly winning the first encounter between these two last season, but then Lat getting the second time around, and Lat comfortably winning the first encounter between these two this season. So Silly definitely with a fire lit under him, trying to come back. Was on a little bit of a losing streak until beating Jabba in week 5. So Silly with a little bit, a little bit of momentum coming in this, but has got a hell of a task ahead of him to try and stop Lat, who's currently 5-0. Lat's team not really changed too much, but the prodigal son, the prodigal son, Kangaskhan, does make its return to Miami Heat. So one of the season 1 mainstays of Lat's team. So really great to see them back. And of course, Frostlass and Tauros have been picked up. So I think it'd be very interesting to see whether Lat employs the Anger Point and the Frost Breath strat between those two. Very interesting. But you can sort of speak all day about the strengths of Lat's team. We've seen just how strong the Cinderace and Blastoise duo can be. He has the Trick Room set up and Tailwind set up in the Whimsicott as well, and of course Glastrier, which we haven't seen too much of this season. It pairs up really, really well, unsurprisingly, with the Whimsicott. So Lat has quite a lot of different modes he can run with that team, and it makes it very hard to predict, and that is, it contributes to the fact of him being 5-0. So Lat with a super strong team, and Silly with a bit of a job ahead of him. But Silly's team, he has made quite a few changes. Milotic, the G-Max Dark Airshrew as well, being picked up, as well as Clefairy coming over from the Shadow Kings. Bolton being picked up, as well as Hippopotas from free agency, as well as Flapple as well. So a few different mons in there for Silly. Does get the G-Max, not the G-Max Airshrew, does get Dark Airshrew back again. So a mon that he had in the season 1. Didn't have the G-Max version though, of course, so but it is more or less the same, just gets a G-Max move this time. Very interesting pick up in the Hippopotas. I think just seeing that there's quite a few Weathermons in this league, I think that's quite a smart thing to do, picking up something that can at least set up the Sandstream. And of course Fletchling, which we saw finally make its appearance in week 5, stays in the Long Island Goomies team, so always great to see that. And Silly's got a few different interesting things he can do with this team, and we've seen just how strong Excadrill can be. And now he has that option to run it with Sandrush as well. Could be quite a phenomenal force to stop. But moving on anyway, we're going to jump straight into this game. I'm going to stop waffling. It is time for the Long Island Goomies taking on the Miami Heat, and Excadrill lines up alongside Boltund and Tauros and Frostlass. So are we going to see that Anchor Point proc from Lat? So Tauros does come for its Dynamax. Protect comes out from that Excadrill, and Bolton does go for the challenge, try and drop that Tauros attack. So I think Silly expecting one. There's the Frost Breath, but it misses. It misses on the Tauros. That's huge. That could be really big. Does get the Max Strike, which is going to drop that speed, but the Frost Breath, it hits this time. It procs the Anger Point. There is a Steel Spike into Bolton. It is going to buff those defenses. That is really huge for Lat, as Excadrill just not really doing anything to that Tauros, especially with that defense buff. As now Dark Airshrew comes in, the Detect comes out from the Airshrew. There's the Max Strike. It still does half damage through the Detect. Ally Switch comes out from Frostlass, but a great predict there from Silly. Frostlass goes down with Sash, so it does manage to hang on though. And Tauros now, as Dynamax does, and there's a triple axle onto the Excadrill. Is it going to take it out? No, it just about hangs on. Body Slam though into the Airshrew, and Tauros just absolutely running house. There's the Rock Slide, so Frostlass does now finally go down, but Tauros still lives, and that 4 times attack looking awfully scary. Silly now finally is using his Dynamax Dazzle, and Gleam comes out, does take out that Excadrill, doing a big amount of damage to Zapdos. But then Body Slam though, with that 4 times attack, does take out the Zapdos. Lat takes game number 1, and that was sensational stuff from the Tauros. I was very worried once that Frost Breath missed the first time round, but Silly not able to capitalise. And move on into game 2, as it is the Cinderace Blastoise duo that we're very used to, and the G-Max Airshrew goes out for Silly alongside the Fletchling. Lat sees that the Tailwind can be coming and fake out the Fletchling, and the Airstream is going to take it out and give Lat the speed buff instead. G-Max one blow into the Cinderace. Does a big chunk of damage, but not quite enough. Max Guard comes out from the Airshrew. There's the Max Darkness into the Boltund. Is that going to do enough damage? Boltund taken down with Sash. Is Boltund going to be fast enough? No, I would not think so, but there it is, the Thunder Fan. Still faster than the Blastoise, but not enough, and the Water Spout is going to take it out, and that special defense drop on the Airshrew could be really huge. Airstream into the Airshifoo. Is that going to do it? But no, Airshifoo just about hanging on, but now they're so fast. And Blastoise goes to the water spout, and there it is, Blastoise. It's like week 5 all again. Blastoise takes out both Mons to finish us off there, and wow, that water spout is so strong, especially with the special defense drop. Just Silly had no answer to it at all. I think once that Fletchling went down and he couldn't get Tailwind, like got speed control, it was all but done. But wow, how costly could that Frost Breath miss have been in game number 1? I bet Lat was counting his lucky chickens when he got it off in the end. But wow, it's such a fun strat to do. I love Anger Point on a Pokemon. But GG's to both guys as Lat moves on to 6-0. And that does mean we have our first team. We're in week 6. We have our first team qualified for playoffs. So congratulations to Latvian Miami Heat, the season 1 champions, already qualifying for playoffs. Like we expected, anything less. Unbelievable stuff. And Latvian are probably already now planning ahead for what he wants to do for playoffs. But great stuff to see there. As we're now going to move on to our final game of the West Division. It is 200 Candies taking on California Bastions. Obviously, last time out, Candies was able to take the game 2-0. Oma, the only team he's managed to beat thus far, but he can take great confidence in that, knowing that he's beaten this team before. Both teams not making nowhere near as many changes as everyone else, just the one for both teams. The Dark Airshrew being picked up by Candies, and the Aerodactyl being picked up by California Bastions. Neo Lego being dropped to free agency for Candies, and the Comma Orb being dropped to free agency by the Bastions. Metagross still leads the kill leaderboard for Oma, so definitely something Candies is going to have to watch out for. But on the same breath, Oma is going to have to be super careful of that Butterfree and Jinx duo, or potentially the Torracat. You know, the Torracat does get fake out and can run with that Will-O-Wisp, and with that Compound Eyes, that Sleep Powder is going to hit, and is going to hit hard. And if you get put to sleep, you're you're in some serious trouble. We saw last time that, you know, those two did the mainstay of the work leading out, and then Dragon Ball just came and cleaned up the sloppy second. So great stuff there from Candies to see how strong that Dragon Ball can be with the Life Orb. So Oma definitely going to have to watch out for that. But will we see Oma maybe employ a different strat if he knows that's coming? We shall certainly see. But let's move on to our final game of week 6. It is 200 Candies taking on the California Bastions, and it is the Metagross and the Aerodactyl leading out for the Oma. Unfortunately, the image of Aerodactyl not leading, but there's the Butterfree and Jinx leading out for Candies, and it is the double protect, so that's going to stop the fake out from going off, so that's good stuff. But the Sleep Powder also gets blocked as well. Metagross does go for its Dynamax, and there's the Tailwind from Aerodactyl. Hailstorm comes out from the Metagross. That's going to take Butterfree down its side, but Butterfree is potentially going to get its Sleep Powder off. Lovely Kiss misses, but there is the Sleep Powder. Sleep Powder goes off, and Metagross put to sleep. Hail is going to take out the Butterfree, but now Candies able to bring in that Dragon Ball for free. Airshrew swaps in for the Jinx. Protect comes out from the Aerodactyl, but that's not good news for the Metagross. Phantasm does come into the Metagross. That is going to proc its weakness policy, so Oma definitely going to be hoping for that 1-turn wake up, but doesn't come. And Dragon will do some big damage there and does drop the defenses of the Aerodactyl. Sylveon now does swap in. Max Webman comes out. That's a great switch in from Oma, but there's the wicked blow onto Metagross, and Metagross is gone, getting just the 1 kill unfortunately this time around. And great stuff there from Candies, a great switch in, and Airshrew just cleaning up. Jinx now swaps back in, able to get that fake out. Fake out comes out from the Hitmontop. Stops Jinx from going off. Phantasm is going to take out the Sylveon though. That Dragon Ball is so strong. The eject pack is going to allow Hitmontop to swap back out, and Aerodactyl comes back in. Hitmontop's going to be able to come back in and potentially get a fake out now though. So good stuff there. Intim though, blocked by the Clear Body and Oblivious. Protect comes out from the Aerodactyl. Fake out comes out on the Hitmontop though. And what has Dragon Ball got? A Dragon Dart. Is the Hitmontop going to go down? No, it just about hangs on. And the Sucker Punch is going to come out from the Hitmontop. Jinx goes down. It is now a 2v2. Aerodactyl gets the Tailwind up. But there is the Dragon Dart. That is going to take out Hitmontop, and Aerodactyl now with it all to do. Dark Airshrew and Dragon Ball against the Aerodactyl. Sucker Punch though, going to take it out, and Candies takes game number 1. Solid stuff there from Candies. Really great to get that Metagross asleep. And it's like a rinse and repeat of the first time these two played. So Candies will be absolutely loving this. And this time Oma does switch it up decisively with the Sylveon and the Aerodactyl. The double protect, the protected tech comes out, stops that fake out coming out from the Jinx, and obviously the Sleep Powder there from the Butterfree. Rock Slide comes out from the Aerodactyl. That's going to take Butterfree down to Sash. Jinx is going to go down. Is Butterfree going to get to sleep? It does. It puts the Aerodactyl to sleep. And the substitute comes out from the Sylveon. So Butterfree managing to hang on. I don't know whether that was the right one. The Moongus now makes its appearance. In comes Dragon Ball. Monk's Phantasm into the Sylveon. Substitute does manage to keep around, but drops the defense on both mons. And Sleep Powder now from the Butterfree. Sylveon now going to sleep. 200 Candies just invited Oma's team round for a sleepover, for a slumber party. Everyone just going to sleep. Airstream now comes out from the Dragon Ball. A Moongus goes down, and that's not great stuff for Oma. Just doesn't seem to have an answer for this Butterfree, putting everything to sleep. Metagross now comes back in. Max Phantasm is going to take out the Sylveon, so just Dragon Ball just getting kills left, right, and centre. And the Sleep Powder comes out again. Metagross put to sleep again. It's got to be frustrating for Oma, but great stuff from Candies, just completely stalling out that monster of Metagross. You know, the longer you can stall out those Dynamite turns, the longer you can deal with it. Phantom Force comes out from the Dragon Ball. That is going to put the weakness policy, but is the Metagross going to wake up? Air Slash comes out from the Butterfree, but no, Metagross stays asleep, and its Dynamax is done. That's it. Air Slash comes out from the Butterfree. The Aerodactyl does now finally wake up to get to the Rock Slide, so Butterfree finally goes down after being a 1% HP for so long. Metagross wakes up, but the flinch procs from the Air Slash. That is unbelievable, and Sucker Punch is going to take out the Metagross, and once again it's Aerodactyl with it all to do. Phantom Force takes it out. That is game number 2. Candies gets his second win of the season, and wow, scintillating stuff there from Candies. That game 2, as I said, it was just a slumber party. He was like, you're going to sleep, you're going to sleep, you're going to sleep. Oma just had nothing for that Sleep Powder, and the longer that Butterfree stayed around, the longer it was a problem. So GG's to both guys, and congrats to Candies on getting the win, ended that little bit of a losing streak, and getting his second win of the season, and commiserations to Oma, losing out once again. But all of our games are played for this week, so let's take a quick look at the league table going into week 7. So as you can see there, some huge changes straight off the bat. Candies goes from 6th place to 3rd place in the West Division on the 2-4 record, but 3rd down to 6th, all down on the 2-4 record. It's so close. Absolutely anyone could make those final 2 spots, or even the 2nd place spot in the West Division. But as you can see there at the top, Lat is through to playoffs on the 6-0 record. Just nobody able to stop him. It still hasn't dropped a single game. Great stuff from that. Another great win for the guy over the Goomies, who now dropped to last place. And Jabba on that 4-game losing streak, dropping into that 5th place spot. And I said with Candies jumping up to 3rd. So great stuff there from Candies, and Bully Boys rolling on now on that 4-2 record. Over in the East Division though, Aaron's Inglorious Surfers now on the 5-1 record. So Lats Miami Heat, the only unbeaten team in the whole of the British Pokemon League. Crizzle and Celtic Celebes both still on the same record, both getting wins this week. Obviously Chris getting that huge win over Aaron, and Draco getting another win over Dogsy Shadow Kings. So both going well, both on the 4-2 record. And in 4th place, Toed Star Belgrade. Wheels Toed Star Belgrade up now to a 3-3 record, putting a little bit of space in between him and that dreaded drop zone of 5th and 6th. But Newcastle and Shadow Kings, Dogsy and Dave, with an absolute mountain to climb once again. Now 2 games adrift from that 4th place spot, so have it all to do, but it is still mathematically possible. There's still a chance, so definitely cannot rule them out. Anything could happen in these final few weeks, and as I always say, we've still got plenty of Pokemon left to play. The only time I won't say that is playoffs, and you've got that to look forward to. But going into next week, our schedule, let's have a scroll on down to week number 7. So next week we have Bully Boys taking on Long Island Goomies, so it is 2nd versus bottom over in the West Division. 200 Candies with a great win this week, as you saw, against Oma's California Bastions. Got to take on the mighty Miami Heat. Can Candies be the first one to take down Lat, to give him that first defeat? We shall certainly see. Lat with a target on his back, so that ought to be a very exciting game. And Jabba takes on California Bastions. The loser of that is going to stay in that final 2 spots down at the bottom there. So Oma will be looking to bounce back after 2 straight defeats, and obviously Jabba with a 4th defeat in a row this week will be looking to get that win that he's been so desperately searching for the last couple of weeks. Hopefully it can come together for Jabba. And over in the East Division, it is Dogsy Shadow Kings versus Toed Star Belgrade. A lot riding on this game. If Dogsy does lose this, it is going to mean that both him and Dave are just about mathematically out of the playoff fight. I think on game record after that they can still go in, but Dogsy with it all to do, so going to need to get the win there over Wheels Toed Star Belgrade. So that is going to be a very spicy game, especially after what happened last time. Dogsy with the fire lit under him, he's going to want to get that win. We shall certainly see. Aaron though, going to want to bounce back from that first defeat, taking on Draco Celtic Sotheby's. Draco on an absolutely huge run, 4 games unbeaten. So, and they faces off against top of the league's Aaron Inglorious Surfers. So that could be a really huge game as well. Draco could even potentially, if results go his way, go to top of the league, which would be great to see. Obviously, Draco in his debut season. And finally, down there at the bottom, Newcastle Thundurus taking on South Croydon Saurs. So Dave with a mammoth task there ahead of him. But it's not impossible. Anything can happen in the British Pokemon League. We know this. You've been here for the last 7 months. You know anything can happen. Don't rule it out. It's going to be an exciting couple of weeks, but that is all I have got time for you guys today. I really hope you have enjoyed this week's show, and next week is going to be extra special. As I said, there's going to be so much potentially, you know, going to start coming together. As I said at the start of the show, we are in the business end of the season. This is where, you know, big things are decided. Playoffs, who's not making it, who is making it. Is someone going to be able to take out Lat? Is Candies going to be the one? We've already seen one unbeaten streak broken thus far. Is another one going to go? Or is Lat going to keep on marching on towards playoffs? And just the streak, is it going to be like the Undertaker? Is it going to take years to beat Lat? We will certainly see. But that is going to do it for me today. I will see you all again next Monday at the same time of 8 o'clock. I've been your host, Matt Star. Thank you all very much. Mwah!